I'm Tessa Gottman-Bach, and I've been with the Phoenix Symphony for 11 years now. I wish you the best of luck in your audition preparations, and I hope that this video is helpful as you are practicing and preparing. Tchaikovsky Piano Concerto. Here's what I would consider in this excerpt to be important. Note accuracy. It's very chromatic lines, so the intonation is very important to be accurate on. Phrasing. Making sure that there are 2 long phrases in this excerpt. And what will help with that is observing the dynamics very carefully to make your phrasing very, very clear. Excerpt B2. Brandenburg. Here's what I would consider in this excerpt to be important. Most of all, a steady tempo from start to finish. Play less on the 8th notes because the 16th notes are the melody passed around throughout the orchestra. And last but not least, to have a good lively tempo and mood. Mozart Symphony No. 40. Things to consider in this excerpt. Note accuracy for sure. This is a tricky passage. The phrasing, every time you have the dee-da-dum, be-da-dum, be-da-da-dum, always lead to the 3rd time. And switching between lyrical and off-the-string material to make sure that the lyrical stuff always sounds like the melody and the off-the-string stuff has good, fun, lively mood to it. B4, Oberon overture. Things to consider in these excerpts. There are 2 parts. Make sure you're using your mute for the first part if it's asked, and that you remember to take it off for the second portion. Things to consider in these excerpts. Making sure to have a good idea of tempo before you start each contrasting section. The first one has a very different mood than the allegro, and they are very different tempos, so make sure you observe those on your music and practice with the metronome. Keep your fingers close to the string in the allegro, and your string crossings very efficient. It really helps to relax your left hand. Be mindful not to rush or drag. In other words, do not let the technique get in your way. Choose a tempo that's appropriate for you. It may not be at the top speed, mine wasn't, but more important to play cleanly. One helpful hint in practicing, if the bowings are a challenge for you at fast tempos, feel free to practice open strings with the bowings marked. Excerpt B5, Brahms Tragic Overture. Here's what to consider in these excerpts. There are really 6 parts, so each part needs to be played separately if you are playing the whole excerpt. Be sure to circle those double bars and stop between each excerpt. The note accuracy is especially challenging in this excerpt, so double check your notes carefully. Look especially at bars 138 to 142 and 332 to 336. Listening to this piece really helps with capturing the style of Brahms. Think of the title of the piece, Tragic Overture. Our job as performers is to be a servant of the composer and to convey his or her own ideas as best we can. Last but not least, watch the meter changes. The pulse stays the same throughout the piece, but sometimes the pulse is a quarter note and sometimes it's a half note, so it can be tricky to figure out which one you're doing. Helps to listen to a recording for that. Here are a few general pointers and suggestions as you're preparing for your audition. I consider a very important thing while I'm practicing are the 3 T's: time, tune, and tone. Time means very precise rhythm and steady tempo unless marked otherwise. Tune, good note accuracy and intonation. This will help your violin ring beautifully. And tone, good sound quality is extremely important, and having an appropriate sound for each composer and each excerpt. Be sure to listen to the pieces. They are all easily found on YouTube. This helps you to know how your part fits in to the other parts and will affect how you play your excerpt in your audition. Take your time between excerpts to find each tempo. Sing at least 2 measures of the beginning of each excerpt or a spot where you are getting your tempo. This one's very important. Practice doing run-throughs for your friends, family, or even your stuffed animals without talking, stopping, or fixing anything. Even more important is to record yourself before your audition so you can hear what you think you sound like. And lastly, when you get to the audition, be yourself. Don't try to be anybody else. Trust your work and be focused but relaxed. Happy practicing, and thanks very much for watching.